Hello and welcome back to this discussion video because it's been quite a while since I've actually done a discussion, and as you can tell by the title, I am going to be talking about is physical media dying. Before I get into that, I just want to address the kind of oil look that I have on my face. That's because I have psoriasis, and I just used my spray for it because it started, as you can tell, it is starting to get back. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, just in case some people decide to comment about that. Um, so yeah, is physical media dying? This has been discussed many a times in the past 2 to 3 years. To be on, actually a lot longer. To be fair, um, and it is come to like a lot of people have come to the conclusion that yes, in a sense, physical media is dying, because there's just not as many people buying DVDs or Blu-rays or 4Ks as in the early 2000s. Once streaming really came about, that's what has kind of stopped people from wanting to actually own physical. But I have about five topics here, and again, I have talked about this last year, where I did a two for one, where I talked about is streaming dying versus is physical media dying. And I think since making that video early January, a lot has happened. Um, that makes this need an update. A lot of things that I have noticed. So to start off with, as we know, at the beginning of the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, Best Buy stopped selling physical media in all their stores altogether, and that meant physical media itself took a massive hit in that regard, because that's where a lot of people did go to buy their movies on new releases. Granted, yes, a lot of people would buy on Amazon at the same time, but in large in part, a lot of people, whilst grocery shopping, would go to the physical media aisle and see what's new, because that way they could get it there and then without having to wait a couple of days for shipping. They can, if they're buying a steelbook, they can see the condition of it prior to purchasing, or because if you purchase through Amazon, you run a high risk of getting of it arriving damaged. AJ over AJ's Movie Place knows about that the most that I have ever seen. Nearly all the steelbooks that he gets, um, not nearly all of them, but enough for it to be an issue where they arrive damaged from Amazon. Um, and yeah, and there are rumors. Uh, do take this with a pinch of salt, though. There are rumors that Target is the next one to remove physical. Now, I don't have any sources on that one to back up my claims on that rumor mill. I think I seen it in a video where someone on TikTok, where someone had mentioned it. I know TikTok, a lot of people just don't really uh, listen to what's being said over on TikTok, but TikTok is actually kind of important. But I'll get onto that later on in the video. And then so yeah, that happened. End of 2023, beginning of 2024, and then we got the news during last year that Disney has pulled out of selling physical media in Australia, which is another huge red flag in terms of physical media. I think the last movie that they put out was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and that's that. Now, granted, of course, there are still other movies being put in there, but for the likes of the diehard Marvel collectors, the Disney movies that parents would buy for their kids, um, that's just they're not going to get the new stuff. Now, I'm not entirely sure about Amazon over there. They could still order them on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure on that one. So someone in that area, please do comment down below. Are you still able to order like new Disney releases through Amazon? I would really love to know. Thinking about that just now. Um, and yeah, it's scary because if since Disney's pulled out of Australia, they could do that for any other country that they wanted to. They could do it for Ireland, where I live. They could do it for the UK. They could do it for America. They could do it for Japan, for Thailand, anywhere. They could decide to, just at a moment's notice, nope, we're just going to pull all of our physical media sales and go strictly for Disney Plus and theatrical releases. And that is worrying. And I think as well, Disney did sell the rights to Sony for them to start producing the physical media, so Disney won't be doing it themselves. Um, and look, it kind of is a cost issue as well. I can see why. And there are 100 million reasons probably why that you know these companies are starting to stop sell physical media, because a lot of people do stream. That was, as I said, it's the big killer of physical media is streaming. Because why would you go out and spend 20-30 euro on a box set brand new, we'll just say for argument's sake, where you could spend a month, that 20 or about 20 or less, for 1 month of streaming, and then have access to all of it that way. And I'm not like a big snob when it comes to quality wise. And so I do love Blu-rays, and that's where I stop. Like 1080p Blu-rays, that's where I'll stop. I won't go for 4Ks. I won't go for the eventual 8Ks if they ever come out, because I know there are some 8K TVs that do exist. I Blu-ray is fine for me. Um, but the casual audience doesn't care. They don't care about quality. They just want to be able to watch it. Um, assuming they actually have internet as well, good enough internet, because they can come in as laggy and stuff. Which is unfortunate. That's why owning physical is far superior to streaming, because you don't have to deal with bitrate or lag or jumping quality. So you could, like, say you're paying for Netflix to be able to watch 1080p, and then as soon as you have like a blip in your internet, it drops down to 220p, or 240, and then you're kind of stuck like that. But if you watch it on DVD, who cares if your internet goes out? It's still going to keep that quality. Um, and as well, sales have massively declined over the past, I think since 2010, the sales have been massively going down since streaming became a thing. And like I said, casual audience just doesn't care, which is a shame. But I do think it's starting there. I am starting to see a shift in this. And again, that's got to do with TikTok. Because there are a bunch of creators that I'm seeing that are going out to rebuy their DVDs, specifically DVDs. These people don't really care for the likes of Blu-rays. They might have some Blu-rays, but it's just whatever they can find, going out into like thrift shops, charity shops, half price books, that type of situation. Like, I know there's a UK TikToker called Kale. He does a lot of gaming content where he collects physical games, which is sparking that for for a game collector who but he's also starting to incorporate Blu-rays into his content, where he's showing, like, when he's doing the big CEX hauls, he'll show the Blu-rays as well, and then he'll also do videos, where he'll pull out, say, the DVD copy to replace it with a Blu-ray copy. I just happen to have the DVD and Blu-ray copy of Close Encounter of the Third Kind on hand as an example. And then there's also like some American TikTokers that I'm seeing that are doing that, where they make videos going out to hunt to add stuff into their, just because they're cutting down on quite a lot of the streaming stuff. because, well, it is getting to be expensive. The price of streaming is constantly going up. And, they crack down on password sharing in a lot of regards. They've also, introduced ad-based tiers. Because, streaming is not a money printing machine. They are essentially losing money, hence why they introduced the ad-based tiers. But I'm going to save that for a different video later on this month. And people are watching, people who probably haven't owned a DVD or a Blu-ray in the past 10 years are suddenly seeing these videos, seeing them, these creators saying that streaming is becoming too expensive. So to save money, I'm cutting back on a lot of streaming services where I might just keep like Netflix, Disney, Max, Hulu, that type of thing, but then go out and buy the box sets, DVD, TV show box sets of like One Tree Hill, Friends, Grey's Anatomy, that type of stuff. Just to have, so that way they can watch it, because they might like to have episodes from that TV show on in the background to help them sleep. And so instead of wasting 20 a month, an extra 20 a month on a streaming service that they have to go to have that streaming service just to watch that show, they're now actually going out to physically buy the DVD, so they can cut that spend out of their pocket, because not everything's on the same streaming services. It's not like the early days of Netflix, the best days of Netflix in my honest opinion, where everything was just on Netflix. All the Disney stuff, the Star Treks, the whole works. All of that was the on that, and then if you wanted, you could have like a Hulu account, as well, to get the other shows like Family Guy and all that stuff. And they are getting like a lot of these TikToks are getting like a lot of views. At least I haven't checked in a while, so I'm essentially kind of plucking numbers out of my ass here. But they are doing well. And then casual people watching that, then go out and buy them, and buying them for that cheap, it's kind of making them see, oh, I could do that. I could cut one of these streaming services out and go buy the physical. That way I can still have access to my show and save money at the same time. Because that's why I done it. That's why I got into collecting physical, was to cut out the streaming and actually own things again. So that way, say if something got pulled from Netflix, or Disney, for example, or the common one that I'll use as an example, Paramount Plus, the supposed home of Star Trek, which is not really the home of Star Trek anymore because it doesn't have all the Star Treks. They're constantly removing things. That all these Netflix and Paramount and Disney are canceling all these shows after a season or two, and they're missing episodes as well, because it might have a controversial episode, and that will cause them to the streaming platforms to see that and be like, oh shit, let's just appease these people by pulling this episode down, or we'll edit this bit out and put it back up, and things will be then they'll be happy. They'll be happy that we've done this. But people would be like posting up in like different subreddits of like, hey, how come there's only this episode, X episode is missing from this, and so you're not really getting the full show. Then you're not really getting that full effect. And then the final point that I have here, is those that do get into collecting physical media aren't really buying new. They you kind of have been mentioning, they opt to buy used, assuming that the discs are in perfect condition and all that. But they are more than likely opting to just go that buy secondhand, because secondhand is honestly a hell of a lot cheaper than it is to buy brand new. Like, take for example, season 1, as of recording this, the newest season of Doctor Who, season 1. that Blu-ray for that box set was €60. Is €60 brand new on Amazon for me. I have not bought it. I refuse to buy it. I will wait and maybe buy it used somewhere, or I might bite the bullet and spend like €37 on the DVD version of the box set. Because but whereas buying it used somewhere else, it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper. You know, if you can find it cheaper elsewhere, be it like Facebook Marketplace, charity shops, thrift shops, half price books, and all of that stuff. With saying that, I also think that whilst yes, I am seeing now a lot more people getting into this hobby of collecting, I can see it, and I'm sure a lot of people have thought of this, the same analogy here. DVD and Blu-ray is going to go the way of vinyl, where it was this crappy, out of date thing that nobody really cared about. It was and then became niche, to be into it, to collect it, and then it becomes mainstream again. And then people want to, they collect it just so they can say that they are a part of this, that they're a part of that for collecting. I do kind of see that, buying DVDs and Blu-rays are going to go that way. And like I said, the casual audience does not care about quality. So that's why I'm seeing a lot of people buying less Blu-rays, and a lot of people buying more DVDs. Like, I know for myself, I have an app that keeps track of my collection. I have 432 Blu-rays in my collection from TV shows and movies. However, when it comes to DVDs, I'm nearly at 500. That's how much, that's how many DVDs I have. And again, that's spread across TV show and movie. A lot more TV show than movie. That takes up like a lot of that. Like, I know my Star Trek, the original series there, that's like 28 DVDs alone. But yeah, so I think that's all that I want to talk about. I initially thought that this was going to be like a 10-minute discussion, but it's turned into a near 20-minute discussion. So thank you for those who have made it this far. If you have and you're not subscribed already, do subscribe, because I do have more discussions coming. Like I said, at some point this month, I will be doing another discussion talking about do I think streaming is dying as well. That will be out on the 17th of this month. And one of my main goals for this year is to do more discussion-based videos. So if there's a topic you would like me to discuss in around physical media, let me know in the comments down below, and I will keep that under advisement. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I shall be back on Monday for a TV show review. I'll see you all on Monday.